You're All So Glorious, Chapter 2, Part 12. Uh, 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 Content warnings. You know that it's been a minute, but you clicked on this. It's not. You click it. Yeah, yes. Her first junior championship she gets sent to, Lace is not used to the process. She's too careful. It leaves her open, prone to vulnerability and failure. The way the sport of saber fencing works is quite simple. Opponents face each other in three-minute periods referred to as bouts. 1-minute breaks are provided between each bout. The goal is to achieve 15 points before your opponent. This can be achieved by the second bout, or go into the third if the fences are quick about exchanging points. Points are determined by who has the right of way or who correctly executes an attack. The right of way can be regained by executing a parry, followed by a riposte. Hesitation can cost you, but it doesn't always pay to be aggressive. Lace's opponents are slow, sluggish. Actions, simple or compound, steps or feints which are executed with a bent arm, are not considered as attacks but as preparations, laying themselves open to the imitation of the offense or offensive action of the opponent. It's a complex way of saying that there is no genuine intending aggression to be found within these elementary fences. They do not maintain right of way, so they are eliminated. It's easier to attack than defend with the saber, but too much aggression is similarly punished. Lace makes quick work of all the early ones. As she climbs higher and higher, the older, more experienced fencers prove to be more of a challenge. They lunge and parry with a precise succinctness that Lace, who has only been at this for a year, has trouble countering. Their experience and strategies are quick and sound. Still, Lace makes it to the finals. She almost loses in the semifinals. It had been a near thing. 14-14 for several consecutive double touches, and Lace had only just barely managed to get the first touch for her final point to win. Her final opponent had been a girl who was patient. Lace is not, so she attacks right into the girl's traps. Her coach's only advice during the breaks had been to stop attacking and wait. Lace had tried, but was baited again rather easily. The girl finally counters Lace, fluidly but lightly, but the gap isn't as wide as she clearly wants it to be against someone Lace's age, based on the deep furrow in her brow whenever she takes her mask off between bouts. She only wins 15-13 in the third bout, after plenty of struggling. Coach Swift is happy with her silver. Lace considers it with neutrality. Not that she wanted, but not the worst outcome either. And she thinks this until her mother drags her to a party, and Hera Beast and her only daughter are there. Hornet had won gold in 2 separate events at the World Championship, alongside a singular bronze. The party was thrown by her mother to celebrate this victory. There's a lot of women with white hair and dark eyes, like Hornet, like Hera, like Lace's mother, a little like Lace, all clearly belonging to the same ethnographic group. They move like drifting dew over the grass, quiet smiles keeping secrets. But Lace recognizes at least a few of them from her mother's business meetings. Is there some sort of collaborative conspiracy Lace is not in on? Her hair is half white now, unmitigated albinism taking away the black color it had once been, but Lace feels more than ever that she doesn't belong. Lace doesn't really know why she's here. She mostly keeps to herself in the corner, half hidden by a curtain. There's food, normal things like crackers and cheese spreads, and then strangely raw meat, blood-like drinks in finger glasses, and spidery onions, covered in some sort of strange sauce. Lace had taken a bit of everything, but she pokes the bloody slice of meat on her plate with great reluctance. It's horse meat. Lace jerks her head up. The glittering lights from the party frame her white hair like a halo, like an angel or perhaps a princess. It pokes out from a silky red headscarf and placid eyes and a firm build. She's holding a half-drunk vessel of the red drink, the alcohol staining the side of the glass from where she'd sipped. A red dress covers her body, held up by two thin straps that do nothing to disguise the firm muscles of her arms, muscle that surely spread all the way down to the tips of her toes. She's shorter than Lace imagined. She's prettier. Her hair is rambunctious, a shimmering waterfall of finely spun thread that pushes out from under the scarf wrapped loosely under her scalp. She wears the dress well, her narrow hips far more contained than the obscenity of Lace's own body. Hornet takes Lace's surprise as confusion. Horse meat, Hornet says patiently. Like meat from a horse? It's a celebration food. My mother had it made for me. Although, if you really don't want to, you don't have to eat it. I suppose people who don't grow up on it might find it strange, although there are always stranger things to eat. But I know you. You fence, don't you? I've heard you're pretty good. At Lace's extended silence, Hornet continues, words prompting conversation. At fencing, she says, miming a sword thrust. I have a friend on the team. She said you're good. Very aggressive, but very imprecise. You're certainly making good forward progress. Maybe you'll make the Olympics with me in a few summers. If you are, we'll be together, probably. She speaks French very naturally, each word flowing from her mouth like crystals. Lace knows alongside French, Hornet only knows English, although she's learning Mandarin. When Lace continues to stare at her blankly, Hornet brushes aside the silence and extends her hand. I'm Hornet, she says. You're Lace Silkknitter, right? I think our mothers know each other. Lace had heard plenty about Hera Beast. Little of it is good, and what is good is reluctant. Her mother had always said that Hera Hornet was a woman of little integrity and loose morals. That sentence is Hera Beast, not Hera Hornet. The typos in this thing, SMH. See how she's ignorant and dismissive of tradition. See how she flaunts her power and brutality. A woman who does such things is not a proper woman at all. Naturally, she would raise an improper daughter in turn. Finally, Lace sniffs. She does not extend a hand in return. I've heard of you, she smiles falsely. Tamina, right? Hornet blinks. She withdraws her hand. I prefer Hornet. Lace waves her hand, humping in response. I don't care. I've seen you in the gym as well. You're hardly any good, Lace says, turning her nose in the air. If I'd done gymnastics, I'd have been much better than you. Really? Hornet says, voice steady. Her face goes blank. Then why didn't you? Lace half turns her head. Whereas before her expression had been neutral, Hornet now looks faintly mocking, amused, like she regards Lace as a tiny creature, yapping at her from a position mere centimeters from the ground. As Lace knew she'd been all along. The false, nice exterior removed, Lace feels much better about her rude comments. She thinks of Phantom for a moment before dismissing the thought. Such a thing has become easier over the years. I'm much better at fencing, Lace mutters, and I can speak 7 languages. You can't even speak 3. If you think that's the metric for intelligence, I think you'll find yourself with sorely boring and unamusing peers, Hornet replies. She moves back a step. The lights shine faintly on her white hair, like threads of gold in the midst of a drifting cloud. Although it seems you have little patience for them in the first place, I have practice. If you take yourself half as serious as you make yourself out to be, you'd go and do the same. She turns after, almost as if she's dismissing Lace. She walks away at a pace just as steady as her voice, her steps sure and progressive. Then she pauses, half turns, and says, Right, I forgot, your mother. Has she been busy? Lace bristles, balls her fist. It's none of your business, she snaps, moving her feet as if to brace herself. She's not your mother. And we're all the better for it, Hornet mutters. Perhaps, well, never mind then. She trails off before turning away. Shrugging her dress straps over both shoulders, she walks across the room, ducking between guests, until all their white hair blends together into one huge mess. Lace suddenly finds herself hating Hornet. She hates this girl so enshrined in security. It never even occurs to her that anything else could be a threat. If only Lace had done gymnastics, she'd have shown Hornet. She'd have shown her mother how much better Lace could be. She grips her plate a little tighter, shrinking further into the curtains. She loathes Hornet. She cannot help it. It doesn't help that soon after, Lace's mother comes to take her home, face angry and upset. "Let's go," she mutters sternly. "If our presence is so unwanted, I will not stay." Lace supposes something must have happened, but she's too busy stewing to care. They pass Hornet and her mother as they leave, but Lace's mother does not approach to let them know she is departing, as would be polite. Instead, she merely storms out, dragging Lace behind her as they go. But right before they leave the room, Lace hears, "If only you were more like her." It is uncertain if the words were even supposed to be audible or not. Lace looks back at Hornet, gold around her neck with a velvety red strap. She disappears behind the doors as Lace is dragged through them, and Lace wishes she were dead. She grinds her teeth to shreds, and when she gets home, she throws her silver medal at the wall, where it leaves a semicircle dent. It's gone in a week. Lace almost goes to find a hammer. She throws herself harder into her fencing lessons, not even bothering anymore with the other rich children in her group. They serve merely as a distraction, and Lace hates them all. They're silly and stuck up. They look at her like she's a marvel, an act of pity, a failed ritual. Some want to practice with her, but she is merciless. She does not go easy on them, and they lose and lose and lose, until they stop coming to her entirely. The teacher moves Lace up an age group, and Lace doesn't bother making nice with anyone there either. She only wants to win. She wants it ravenously. Not at some podunk tournament, either, that they accept everyone at. She wants to be the best in all of France, and then the best in Europe, and then the best in the world. This is the only way she will be better than Tamina Beast. This is the way she will show her mother that she is the best. This is the only way forward. For the next year, Hornet is always in Lace's peripheral. Less of a role model, more of a standard. She was a couple years older, tougher, stronger, faster. Of course, this is no excuse for Lace's inferiority. Even when Lace had crept around and stolen old school records from a dense filing cabinet, she finds that Hornet surpassed her even at this age. Learning this only makes Lace struggle harder. She crumples the records in her hands and throws herself into studying. Perfect scores. She practices fencing and ballet day and night, graduating from silver to gold in her competitions and earning critical acclaim for her dancing. She becomes fluent in proper French, as she does English, Chinese, German, Spanish, and Italian. Whatever other language she'd spoken long ago fades away. She becomes quite proper and well-mannered indeed. She is chosen to lead her ballet troupe's new production again. Then a solo competition she lands first place within. Her ballet teacher allows her to move up another level. She travels to south of France to compete in Junior World Championships, which she soundly wins gold in. Then she attends another championship, this one hosted even further south, right at the tip of Spain. All of these her mother still does not attend. At 13, she attends her first senior level competition. She earns 4th place, which has her going home in a massive rage, despite her coach's planned encouragement. "That you got this far is impressive on its own. We didn't expect it." "Well, maybe they should have." Does no one expect a thing from Lace anymore? Does anyone care? Her mother hadn't attended her first senior competition, or her first junior competition, or any of the ballet competitions, and hadn't mentioned anything at all about it. Not about fencing, or ballet, or Lace's grades, or her languages, or anything at all. All she cares about is her stupid medication and Lace is feeling stringy. Lace is always feeling stringy. It never goes away. She lives every day putting her best foot forward because a day where she doesn't is a day that she fails, and she finds that the strength this takes from her does not even warrant a glance from her mother. Her next senior competition, Lace earns second, failing to beat a veteran fencer at her very well-oiled game. It is better, it is silver, but it is still not enough. It's not gold. There's Hornet at the top, and nothing Lace does will surpass her. She is even attending the Olympics. If Lace wins 1 gold, Hornet will win 3. She has more opportunities, more potential to win bigger, win better. It's not fair. Not for the first time, Lace wishes she had done gymnastics back then, choosing another sport. But sentimentality had clouded her head. She'd chosen the worse option. She attends another senior competition. She wins another silver and screams in the back of the gym, hitting her fist against the brick wall, scraping it all white. The skin bends, but doesn't break. When she comes back inside, Coach Swift's waiting. He's got a smile on his face as he jogs in place. Lace highly dislikes him in that moment. "I got you a hotel for 2 more nights," he says. "You can either go home or stay here, but I'll be here the whole time. It's up to you." He's been doing this recently, buying hotels for extra nights longer than Lace needed. Lace isn't sure the reason, but she'd take any excuse to get away from that townhouse, and her mother for an extra few moments, even if they're stolen. There she can sleep heavily. She rarely will leave the hotel room, instead spending the time entirely asleep or only half awake, a constant exhaustion suddenly debilitating in these moments. She doesn't think about anything at all, because every other moment of her life, she's thinking about altogether too many things, swirling around in her mind, like a ship in a storm. But eventually, Lace must go back, and when she goes back, she becomes angrier, more biting and cruel. She cannot stand to lose. She cannot stand to be second best. She shed her temporary mask of humility and starts to snap at her friends who do better than her, lacing her compliments with barely disguised passive aggressiveness. Most of all, she cannot bear to hear Hornet's name anymore. To speak it aloud now, in Lace's mind, is a victory. 1 second thinking about Hornet is a second not speaking about Lace. Her friends, certainly, are not exempt. "I went to one of her parties," Lace says haughtily. "They were eating horse meat as like a celebration. It was disgusting." The other girls wrinkle their nose. Some hold smoking cigarettes in their hands. It's a cool thing to do, smoking, and Lace hears them talk about how it makes them feel a bit better. And Lace knows, at least a bit, she's becoming a worse person because she seeks community with them in this way. Behind the school, cigarette in hand. She's such a bad person. Even a cigarette can't make her feel good. "That's gross," one says. She had blood sausage to eat that day, and when she breathes out, it's pure nicotine. "I heard that her father's a fraud," Lace continues waspishly, "and I hear she cheats on all of her assignments." Her friends stare at her, eyes all unanimously wide, faces pressed together in one huge mass. "Really?" one of them says hesitatingly. "Where did you hear that?" Lace hesitates only for a second before firmly crossing her arms over her chest. "My mother," she says. "She's had to do business with Beast's father. She says he skims corners and has false business practices. All those murders, he's getting rid of people that seek to complain about it. He might have said he had nothing to do with it, but everyone around him knows that he's drowning in guilt. There's just nothing to convict him on." "Really?" another of her friends says. It's more breathy, more believing. It's human nature to want to believe that people better than you are terrible. That this is nothing that truly divides you, except some form of luck or nepotism. Hornet, who is altogether terribly successful and ridiculously talented, is an easy target for help. Hate for that alone. "Oh yeah," they says. "Beast's bought her way to the top. It's part of her tuition. She'll probably inherit her dad's company. It can't go under before she makes money of it, obviously." "You really think they're related then?" "Hornet and Worm. It's a rumor, but I know it. Lace says. This is something she is not lying about. Her mother had mentioned it in passing one. Despite her generally traditional beliefs, Lace's mother had not seemed too perturbed by the idea of Beast being a bastard, out of wedlock child. But often, just when Lace feels she's getting a finger of her mother, she pulls out something new like this. My mother said. That's crazy. I mean, her mother's a foreigner, though. That's just the way it is out there. That's horrible. It's a shame the school even lets her in here. As a pause makes Lace feel a bit better. She ends the conversation with that, expecting this to be the end of it. But the rumors spread and balloon outwards, and more kids come to Lace, having heard her lies, and ask what else has been said about the Beast daughter, and Lace indulges them. Most seem doubtful, mine's more prone to critical thinking than Lace's own friends, but doubt is soon. As Lace's lower secondary years come to a close, she attends yet another senior competition, the European Championship, having done well enough in her national competitions to qualify. She gets gold at last.